What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 24 online CFM game. We are now in week 1 of season 5. The year is 2027 in the Premier Madden League. Our Los Angeles Rams finally have to learn what life is without Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, who both retired in the offseason. But our team is more than ready. We are more than capable of competing. We have a number of superstars. We have a couple of X Factors and just a great team all around. And one of the up-and-coming talents on this team is our new right end, who is not the Aaron Donald replacement on this team, but he is playing the former position of Aaron Donald, Ashton Galat. And he has a chance to do a little camp standout story, which is something that we haven't really been able to do so far, but hey man, you never know. So week 1, we are going against the Washington Commanders as we unlock a new ability slot on Devon Jackson, short route KO. That'll be a pretty useful ability, I feel like, as far as guarding underneath routes to tight ends or running backs. So we'll keep that in mind. I usually use a Devon Jackson a lot, so it might not be as useful. Our team has a lot of useless abilities, to be completely honest. CJ Donaldson's an X Factor, and none of the abilities are really worth having on him. Bumming has Slot-O-Matic, which is alright, but he's 99 speed. I like to play him outside just to take this, put some pressure on that defense. Defensively, otherwise, Benny's got useless abilities, Hall's got useless abilities, Brian Burns has useless abilities. And yes, Brian Burns is a superstar, so Brian Burns went to superstar during Super Bowl week. The trade-off, though, unfortunately, is that Byron Young actually regressed, but Byron Young was one of those guys that had useless abilities, so it's not really that much of a loss. We just traded one of our outside linebackers for another one. As you see, our team heading into this matchup, like I said, man, I feel really good about our squad. You see Laramie Tunsil's abilities, and he's really actually close to getting that 4th ability slot. He's at 94 overall, and he's pretty close to an XP, so he might actually get a new slot there pretty soon. So here we go. It's time to start the new season at FedEx Field to a team that we lost to last regular season. Let's try to get some revenge. Here we go. We are underway for the start of the 2027 season here in the Premier Madden League. And you guys can tell by the length of this video that, what we talked about during the preseason, we went with option B. But I feel like I don't know, I almost said I misled you guys, but I feel like it was misconstrued what I said to what is happening. When I said we're going to do the full games, I didn't mean I was going to post like the whole hour game. It's just, I'm going to be putting multiple games in the video, but as far as full length, I just meant that, it would be like, not just the highlights, some plays. I'll try to put as many plays as possible besides in blowout situations. We'll cut some of that out. But otherwise, it's going to be full length in that aspect. And that's why we're going to be putting, 5, 6, however many games in the video as Devon Jackson gets the SWAT badly needed. Drake May tore us a new one last season. So we got to dial in on pass defense, which I feel like we did a decent job of, but that's one of those plays where better offense beats good defense, I suppose. T. Higgins just boxing out Kobe Durant for positioning and breaking the tackle for the first down. Next play, that's not Drake May, that's Jared Goff. Drake May got injured on the previous play, so Washington on their opening drive already down their starting quarterback with a little bit of chaos, but good news, Drake May is returning. He is back, and he's handing off to Travion Henderson, who was another one of those players that gave us troubles last season. So, we have to adjust to this Washington offense, or else we're going to start the season 0-1. And we're back in FedEx Field, back in the former stomping grounds of Terry McLaurin. We didn't get him the win here last time in his return, so it'll be nice to get Terry something to hold, as May says otherwise. In for 6, it's Deebo Samuel chopped across the plane, and good. So I felt like we actually played pretty solid defense on that drive, but Washington just never said die. They were converting every 3rd down, even 4th downs. They went for a 4th down and 3 in their own territory, which was honestly pretty crazy because the rules in this CFM, you're not really allowed to go for those 4th downs. You get what is called a coach's choice to go for any 4th down, besides in the 4th quarter. If you're losing in the 4th quarter, then it's pretty much fair game, but those kind of 4th downs in your own territory, you're not really allowed to go for besides that one coach's choice. So using that on the opening drive of the game, on the opening drive of the season was kind of crazy, but it is what it is. You just got to get the stop once the offense takes the field. Oh no, we had Fleming, but we get taken down before getting the pass off. It's third down. Can we get our own conversion? Jalen Patience firing and caught by CJ Donaldson, who had a spectacular rookie season. How can he build on that? Well, he's doing a good job so far as Jalen Hyatt makes the grab, freezing the Washington defense literally as Osiris Torres, is that his name? Our new starting offensive lineman getting injured right there. Maybe not new starting offensive lineman for much longer, as Donaldson with a nice move, pivoting his way for a gain of 7. The Patience. Third down. It's a run. It's Jalen Henderson in for the touchdown. JJ the Jet plane. I want to say taking off right there. That was a slow flight, but slow and steady wins the race in that situation. It was more about the deception of that play with the screen on the right side with the pulling guard, and you know, I was never really going to throw that screen unless it was wide open. Oh, row your boat gently in for 6. Row Torrance. He won a Super Bowl MVP doing exactly that. Of course, that was in the year 2 Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. And in that year 1 Super Bowl, shout out to Robert Rochelle, who was barely a starter on our team for most of the season. He was mainly a backup and came in for a starring role when we needed him the most. So, you know, I think that goes to say, once again, as Devon Jackson, his first of what should be many interceptions, and now his 3rd season in the NFL, as Jalen Dot in the corner. That's McLaurin down to the 3, trying to get a 2-possession lead. Oh, CJ just tripped up Sonny Styles with a huge tackle in the backfield. Henderson next play, trying to get away. Jamin Davis making a touchdown saving tackle. Washington's getting stingy. Third down, Jalen pumping, got it in for the touchdown. Oh, RJ Maryland kept both those puppies in. Not even the need for a boot review. You love to see it, and we're just spreading the sugar right now, man. We got the team to compete, right? You know, when we entered the start of this online CFM, we started with the premise that we might not even keep Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, and we might just go full rebuild mode. But the way we started the CFM, we literally started, what, 7-0 before we lost our first game to the Dallas Cowboys in Season 1. And at that point, you know, the trade deadline hits, and it's just like, you know, I'm still feeling out the offers, but if it's nothing crazy, then, you know, let's just compete with Kupp and Donald. Whoa, it's a fake punt on 4th down! And it's not a conversion. What in the world is Washington? They're mentally falling apart right now, which, look, I'm a big fan of. We just got to make sure we don't get overly excited ourselves trying to create some big plays. Washington's giving us the game. Let's not give it back to them. So thankfully, we do get the fumble recovery that CJ Donaldson lost. CJ Donaldson's carrying rating was not good. Coming in as a rookie. Oh, don't worry about any of that. CJ Donaldson walking the dog. So yeah, CJ Donaldson's carrying rating is getting better. I would like to see him not fumble. He is the lead #1 back, undisputed. So act like it. And, you know, he bounced back a couple plays later, so shout out to him. CJ Donaldson, of course, the reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Best Running Back, Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. Devon Jackson, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. These boys, they still got it. Oh, put him on skates, Devon! Superman is in the building. 2 interceptions, and we're barely into the second quarter, kind of just taking Washington to school right now. Put him behind the shed and giving him a beating as CJ Donaldson. Oh no. The injuries are starting to stockpile a little bit. That's the one thing we don't want to see in a game like this that we have under control. 1st and goal. Jalen running in for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. A little bit of everything from this Los Angeles Rams offense, but the one person you're not really seeing is Julian Fleming, which is surprising that we have 35 points, and Julian Fleming has had absolutely nothing to do with it, which I suppose is a good thing, right? That we don't need Julian Fleming, but we want to get him involved, of course. Number 3, 99 speed, is the best player on our offense, you would think. I suppose CJ Donaldson might have something to say about that. And maybe even Larry Tunsil if you want to include all players, not just skill positions. That's not going to be a first down. Forward progress is not going to be kind to the man who slides out of bounds behind the sticks. So it's 4th down, and Washington's going forward again. Here's Drake May looking good. Pocket underneath Debo. Whoa, they gave him the forward progress for the first down. I want to challenge the play. I don't think that was a first down. Debo went backward, out of bounds. That's not forward progress. He went backward and then went out of bounds. So I don't think that's a first down, but they're not going to even allow us the option to challenge the play. But it's all right. We'll get the interception a couple of plays later. And by the way, if you remember what I was explaining about the fourth down stuff, yeah, no, that was not legal what Washington just did. But they're down 35-7. I suppose they got nothing to lose as James is cooking in the open field, in the end zone. James Cook with a welcome to Los Angeles moment we'll never forget. Ho-ho! Put them all on skates and accelerate. James Cook is in the building, and this is now a blowout. And this is a feel-good game for us because we talked about, man, this was a team we lost to last season. It was a heartbreaking game. We lost in overtime on, funny enough, a C.J. Donaldson fumble. So, you know, C.J. Donaldson still decided to fumble for fun, but otherwise, everything is going our way right now. We are clicking on all cylinders. We're feeling good. You know, we're playing Washington because they were a first-place team on our schedule. Of course, being the NFC East champion, I believe they finished 11-6 last year. So, you know, in a first-place matchup, it's not going to be an easy game week one. And we're handling it pretty good, man. So, you know, this now becomes a game of just managing, of course, and avoiding injuries. But while we still have a couple of minutes left in the first half, we're still going to put the pedal to the metal. Why not, right? Oh, Jalen. No. So here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to get Jalen Henderson injured because, as we talked about in the previous video, Jalen Henderson's going to be our guy, right? There's not really many options out there without sacrificing the core of our team. So we got to keep Jalen healthy. Jalen's been banged up a lot the past couple of seasons, but right now he is playing really good. I'm really liking the accuracy, the zip on these passes. You know, the scrambling ability is always there with Jalen. So now the one thing we got to do is just make sure that he sees the end of these ball games, and you know that's going to be a part of just keeping him under control as James Cook. Do your thing, buddy. CJ Donaldson got injured, so we're not going to rush CJ back, and we're probably just not going to bring CJ back for the rest of this game. So that's going to allow James Cook more opportunities, and I mean, he's making the most of it. He's got 2 touchdowns. He's doing his thing, and that's going to take us to the end of the first half. So 49-7. This is honestly the biggest onslaught we've had with this Los Angeles Rams team. I don't even think it's close. We have never really been the kind of team to be able to blow out a squad. Our mantra was always just get it to the fourth quarter, keep it a close game, and then we can try to win it in the fourth. But, I mean, we beat the brakes off of these boys. And it was barely the second quarter where you felt like the game was over. So now this is the part where we're just going to skip a lot of the second half. And you see we got backups in there. So we're going to let James Cook and Antonio Gibson close the rest of this one out. And hopefully no one else gets injured, as Steve Avella, who was the one injury that we had in our playoff game. Our playoffs, short playoffs. It was technically 2 weeks. We got that first round bye. So we got Robbie Ashford here. Robbie's still going to be our backup. Shout out to the Gronk dude that we drafted at quarterback, who lasted literally 1 snap in preseason. He played the first play of the second half in week 2, got injured, broke his ribs or something like that, and I threw him on the IR because, you know, we don't really got much use for him. So I threw him on the IR. Brock Purdy was in free agency. He's, you know, an overqualified backup, and he's actually going to be our QB3 just so we could have Robbie Ashford as the backup. So yeah, Gronk literally last 1 play, and he's going to be on the IR. We're probably not going to take him off the IR. I don't know if we will be able to take him off the IR if we want to, because if you guys remember, the first big controversy that we had with this Rams squad was the Cam Akers injury all the way back in week 1, where, or week 3 it was, as Grant Delpit's going to get the theft. And yeah, Cam got injured in that Bengals game early on. He had a 7-week injury, so with the IR being 8 weeks long before they can return in this game, even though it should be 4 like real life, but in Madden it's 8. I know we just threw Cam Akers on the IR. We needed that roster spot to bring in talent because our Rams team was just so bad. Our depth was so bad that, you know, we're spending every week signing free agents. And in this league, you actually have a minimum of roster moves you can make per week. It's 4 4 roster moves, so that means, you know, cut, signing, those are all move a piece. So, you know, we had to cut somebody really bad in our roster to bring in somebody really good. That's 2 moves right there. So, you know, we really could only bring in 2 new guys a week with those kind of settings. So, you know, that was a big reason why we put Cam Akers on the IR, and then Cam Akers was never able to come back because of EA. We were just never able to bring him back. But, you know, we were doing all of those moves trying to balance this team, and now we go fast forward to here, present day, and, you know, I feel like injuries are not going to bother us that much. Obviously, there's some guys you really don't want to get hurt, like the Flemings of the world, but, you know, we got guys. We got more than enough depth on this team, and that showed at the running back position today where, you know, we lost C.J. Donaldson, and it really was, you know, barely the flick of a scab off of our wrists, where it's just like, all right, just bring in James Cook, and he balled the heck out, right? So we get a dominant win over Washington at the end of the day, and you see some of the stats. Ashton Galot, by the way, got 2 sacks, got 2 tackles for loss. That should be good enough for the camp standout. So we might have actually done one of these camp standouts, and now we can see what the reward is, right? Galot had a +5 block shed boost during the preseason for this camp standout thing, and they got to give us something better. This is the next development of the storyline for week 1 of the regular season. I don't think we're going to get a dev increase. That might be asking a little bit too much, but that would be nice because Ashton Galot is star dev. If we could get another superstar, that would be very nice. Our defensive line is already pretty well built, and now it's going to get a little bit better because this man just got 10,000 XP. You love to see stuff like that. So that's the cherry on top of a feel-good week 1 victory over the Washington Commanders. Next week, we got our first division game of the season against the San Francisco 49ers. We actually played the 49ers twice in 3 weeks. We played the Niners week 2, and then we play them again in week 4, which is very similar to our season 1 schedule, or season 4 schedule, where we played the Niners week 1 and week 4. So once again, 2 games against San Francisco within the first 4 weeks upcoming, as all of our offensive linemen getting points, man. Shout out to all these boys for just getting upgrades. You know, that was a win in more ways than one against the Washington Commanders, and get a little upgrade for Ashton Galot before we move into our week 2 game. Now we're gonna get ready for our home opener at SoFi Stadium. It's a battle of 2 California teams as we get ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers. And you see, going into this game, our Los Angeles Rams are a 95 overall team. That is the highest overall team in the league. The next highest is a 93 overall. So as always, we are always trying to win the development battle while trying to win within all 5 seasons of the CFM, which is not an easy thing to do. To be able to be competitive all 5 seasons, have a team underneath you, because you could tilt the scales too hard one way and not have enough talent at the end, or, you know, usually what we have to do is not have talent at the beginning to fulfill our prophecy at the end, which we are able to do, right? We won with a not so great squad. We won with literally Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and nothing else, and now we get to reap the rewards of being a 95 overall team, having beasts all around the field. It's not like a Mutt squad, because Mutt's crazy these days, but it's a pretty solid team, I must say. And the reason why I say that is because the San Francisco 49ers were that Mutt team at the beginning of the CFM. They were a crazy squad, and while they still have some game changers like George Kittle and Fred Warner, now our Los Angeles Rams are the powerhouse of the division as we are underway for some week 2 action. But that's not to say that we're going to sleep on the San Francisco 49ers while we are now the hunted instead of being the hunters. I mean, we know how to be the hunted pretty well, and I'd say so far so good based on our performance against those Commanders as we fire one underneath. That's the rookie Eric Singleton Jr. making his first career catch, and we saw a little bit of Jalen Hyatt. I think we're going to try to use a little bit more of Eric Singleton today and see what that speed does for us as CJ Donaldson in the open field, always just overpowering defenders, getting a gain of about 20, going to Donaldson once again, trying to make a move inside. Fred Warner hanging on for dear life, and the goal, as per usual going against the San Francisco 49ers, is put the ball where Fred Warner is not. And CJ Donaldson is doing a pretty good job of that right now, establishing momentum on the opening drive, establishing our presence. We want to run the ball with CJ Donaldson whenever we can to get those easy yards, to open up easy passing plays for Eric Singleton and the boys. Singleton scooting his way to the 6. Donaldson! Oh, can he at least get the first down? No, it's 3rd down and 1 at the 5. Jalen, quick lofter to CJ, who makes the grab. 1 yard short of the end zone, but good enough for the first down. Donaldson, no, it's Jalen trying to cap the drive off. Jalen lost the ball. Woo, all right. We're getting pretty fortunate with these fumble recoveries so far this season. So it's 2nd down at the 5. And now in the end zone, it's Terry McLaurin for his first touchdown of 2027. Like we talked about in the preseason, Terry didn't really regress too much. So he's still, I believe, in 90 overall. And he still got it. He's definitely a really good wide receiver 2 to have in our system. But once again, the wide receiver 1, Julian Fleming, we're not hearing from him. He still does not have a catch this season. Believe it or not, he did not make a catch last week. Fleming's still being shut out, yet we're still scoring, so hopefully he can put his ego aside and be happy for the team, because there will be a time when we got to dial up number 3 and he'll do his thing. Now we focus on the defensive side of the ball, which did not get out to the greatest of starts last week, but we ultimately had a pretty good defensive game, a lot of interceptions for us, and even a lot of plays where we should have had picks, as this will be overthrown, looking for George Kittle on that sail route. The pass sailed a bit too far away from number 85 as Shedeur Sanders with the bounce back on the next play. The 2nd-year quarterback keeping on the option. Holy cow. Actually, I believe Shedeur's he's a 3rd-year quarterback. My mistake. Out of Colorado, but he now faces up 1st down and 19 after a holding penalty. Here's one more play before the end of the first quarter. Shedeur firing up the seams and broken up by Devon Jackson. 3rd down and long. Shedeur, good pocket, taking off, needs 16. He got it, and a couple of yards to spare. Down to the 6. Shedeur, handoff in the end zone for the touchdown. It's Israel Abanikanda. Abanikanda, the former New York Jets running back, signed in free agency by the San Francisco 49ers. He's a pretty nifty RB1 to have, and you know, when we talk about the downfall of the San Francisco 49ers, part of that is Christian McCaffrey is no longer a superstar. He actually is still on the roster, but he doesn't have superstar abilities, which is great because, I mean, he's a pain to go against. Oh, an interception. That's Jalen Henderson's first of the season. Trying to target McLaurin. That pass was thrown a little bit too early, it must be said. And now, here are, oh no, the 49ers giving it right back. Do not put your hands in the cookie jar. That's divine intervention as Diablo gets the user pick, and we hit the reset button. It's like we didn't even throw that interception. Thank you, defense, for bailing us out. Donaldson not able to get that 1 yard we need. So once again, it's 3rd down and 1 for our Rams. Underneath, that is caught. And there's Terry breaking tackles before getting his bones broken on that crushing hit. As that will count as a sack for Clark Phillips. Like we talked about, Terry's in the slot now exclusively. Besides some plays like right here where we put Fleming in the slot for that slot. Oh, Matic. And we're just bombing it to the 99 speed. Over the top. Over and out. Julian Fleming finally on the board. Not just for a catch, but for a score. I told you, Julian was going to get involved at some point, right? Don't worry about that. Whoa, that's blocked. That is blocked. And that's unfortunate because that ends Chase McLaughlin's streak of making every kick and every PAT since about week 16 of the 2nd season of this CFM. McLaughlin is the back-to-back NFC Kicker of the Year because he never misses. But at that point, just like the previous miss he had, the kick was blocked, and it came against a division rival once again. Thankfully, it's a PAT and not an extra point. Or an extra point, not a PAT, I suppose. As San Francisco on the move, putting together a pretty good drive, and Israel Abanikanda scooting, shimmying, shaking down to the 6. He's having a good start to the game. Sanders! Whoo, he actually nearly got it off to Abanikanda. It's now 3rd down and goal. Here's the drop back. Oh, and picked off! Oh, baby, Grant Delpit shooting the gap, and he gets the 2nd red zone turnover on Shedeur today. Our defense making some big-time stands as the offense going backward. CJ already with 10 carries in this first half. Third down, it's up to Jalen to get the first down. Oh, and there's Fred Warner breaking hearts and breaking bones. And now we give it back to San Francisco for an instant red zone opportunity and just some sloppy play right now from our Rams. We're leaving the door open for the San Francisco 49ers, and they're going to take advantage with Israel Abanikanda. Forced out of bounds by Devon Jackson at minute 26, left in the first half. RPO broken up and nearly picked off by a waiting Azariah Thomas. Fourth down, 49ers on the field, aggressive play call. They got it. Touchdown, Christian Kirk doing work. And the 49ers have the lead because they made both of their PATs. And it seemed like we have found ourselves in a ball game. This was avoidable. This was definitely avoidable. We just didn't have to make the mistakes to put ourselves in this spot, right? That last turnover, I mean, you know, I feel like you got to go for that. Go for the first down. I thought I could swerve the user, but once again, you know, we kind of failed the game plan of not avoiding Fred Warner in that situation because he just makes those plays at the end of the day that, you know, 99% of the league will not. Shout out to Sam Laporta for making that grab. We have Sam Laporta as our starting tight end today because RJ Maryland actually got injured in practice. So, you know, that's one of our guys who is very injury prone, and that's why we have Sam Laporta as a backup. He's an 81 overall. He's good enough to get the job done when we don't have RJ in the lineup whenever those times come, like today, as we run into the 8-yard line, trying to get the lead back on the final drive of the second half. But it might have to be a field goal as CJ Donaldson stood up on first down. We rush back to the line. Look at the clock, under 10 seconds to go. Trying to switch the play, taking valuable seconds. Jalen moving, throwing, caught, touchdown! Mike Evans with 2 seconds to spare. And yes, that is Mike Evans at a tight end position. So you're not really allowed to put a guy like Mike Evans at tight end, but you are actually allowed to put a guy like Mike Evans at running back with the way the league rules are set. So I signed Mike Evans in free agency. He's very washed. He's very washed at this point, right? He was like a 74 overall. There's a reason why he was in free agency before the start of the season. But I moved him to running back for these kind of situations to be able to put him as not our running back, but really our fullback, and then sub him in at tight end for spots like this when RJ Maryland is injured, Sam Laporta is tight end 1. Mike Evans could be tight end 2. Why not? Let him make plays like that. And he shines in that role, and we know Mike Evans can score in the red zone with the best of them, right? We know that from his prime, and, you know, 6'5" will still be able to get it done even at this point, as we are once again kind of getting bled defensively here. We're not containing the running game as good as we were last week. Abanikanda is working on a 100-yard rushing performance. Shador's not going to get it done right there, so we'll see what they have cooked up on third down. Sanders drop back, great pocket, wide open. It's Christian Kirk. That's a breakdown the coverage. We had man coverage, and I believe 2 guys followed 1 person, as this is a score for San Francisco. They punch right back on the opening drive of the second half. It's the second-year receiver, C.J. Smith, and once again, PAT. That missed extra point is starting to be a bit of a thorn in our side because in a close game, you need every point, that block point. We're going to have to go for 2 at some point to make up for that difference, as Eric Singleton, not really a great decision to return that kickoff. The rookie just feeling things out as Jalen, I believe he wanted it all right there and got popped on the attempt. Second down, great pocket, only a 3-man rush. Fleming on the slant, separation, first down, pass midfield, and a blur. Julian Fleming switching fields as we go to Donaldson. Great blocking, CJ 1-on-1. Good open field tackle by San Francisco. Donaldson working on a 100-yard performance. Oh, Jalen is buried on first down. Drake Jackson meets him in the backfield. Next play, open, got it. The first career touchdown for Eric Singleton Jr., who goes for the homer. The offense is playing pretty well right now. I like the way we're at offensively. It's just defense. I feel like we could get a stop or 2. That's all we really need because we are moving the ball without turnovers. We're moving the ball whenever we get it. So, you know, we don't want to put too much pressure on our offense. I feel like if we put that pressure on, we're going to turn it over again, as this is Missed by Shador. CJ Smith had the step, but could not catch the overthrow. Now it's third down. Empty set. Sanders looking underneath. That is caught. But no, we're close to the first down. And San Francisco, they're going to rush back to the line. And it looks like they're going to go forward here. They go up tempo. And we could call a timeout here, but I kind of like their decision to go forward. Let's get a stop here. Pressure on, and Shador just got it off for a chain mover. Oh, man, Rayshon Benny looked like got in there, but not really. And speaking of our defensive line, we're looking for Ashton Gallot to have another great game. It's not happening right now. No one on our defensive line is really having a really good game, but we need Gallot to finish this camp standout story, because I don't know what the reward is, but he might get a dev upgrade. We're never going to see it, though, because I don't think he even has a tackle today, as Superman showing the S on his chest with the pick. Come on, man. Don't put your hands in the cookie jar when Devon Jackson's on the scene. I mean, he's that guy at the end of the day, man. He really gives you those flashes without the forced fumbles of what Caden Stearns did for the Madden 20 Miami Dolphins, as Donaldson needs one more yard to crack the 100 plateau. Hopefully he gets it here. Oh, no! Should have gotten it there. Instead, it's 4th down inches, and it's our turn to go for it deep in our own territory. That's an RPO. That's an easy pitch and catch. That's Terry McLaurin moving the chains, and hey, man, shout out to Jalen Henderson. He's got 4 passing touchdowns on the day. Now, we do have that one boo-boo of an interception in the fumble, but, you know, statistically, it's a pretty good game. Let's see if we can make it better on 3rd down. Late rusher, only 3 on the scene. Jalen extending the play on the run, and it's caught by Sam Laporta. Holy cow, Laporta climbs the invisible ladder. You love to see it, as McLaurin, he 2-taps for the touchdown. Jalen on a frozen rope. And now here we go. We got to make up for that missed PAT. 2-point conversion under pressure, and it's picked off. There's that guy, Fred Warner, and now he's going to try to run it back for 2. Jalen's got to make a play. He cannot. Warner, open field. Can he run away from the pack? He will. Oh, there's no way. Fred Warner is not that fast. I promise you he's not that fast. I figured, all right, if he swerves me, it's all right, because he won't have the juice to go all the way. I thought Fred Warner was like 89 speed, not 99 speed. As Ashton Gallot gets home. Now that we have a lead, this could be the time for Gallot to turn up and complete the camp standout story. Bomb! Missed again by Shador. And this is costing San Francisco Shador's misfires. Here we go, 3rd and a mile. QB spy on Sanders. Byron Young was waiting and devastating. We got hurt a couple of times. Our pass rush wasn't really getting there, so the adjustment we have to make, which is put a quarterback spy, right? If our 4-man rush isn't getting there, let's just put 3 in a QB spy to contain Shador at least, since our rush is not doing it. As Jalen Henderson started the 4th quarter, throw underneath, and Sam Laporta survives a wicked hit as Jalen's keeping on 2nd down, looking for a block. It's not really there. And like we talked about last game, we got to be smart and slide in those situations, and the offensive line's got to be a little bit better. That was an insta-shed. 2nd down. That's caught by Terry McLaurin. That's a hat trick for Scary Terry, who spokes the San Francisco 49ers and makes one heck of a grab. And now it's a 3-possession lead. Even though we fell behind the 8 ball with the missed PAT, the pick 2, we have a 3-possession lead now, and it's really just one more defensive stop should be enough to get the job done. We're in a pretty good spot right here. Don't want to give up any big plays. Though George Kittle catches one in traffic, you just shake his hands and say, good job, buddy. Like, we had that pretty well covered. You know, try that again, and we'll see how you do, as that's wide open. That's not what we want. We don't want to give up the easy pitch and catch right there, as the Niners are quickly at our 32-yard line. Here's Shador. Oh, it's picked off. Torrens back at it again. Trying to make it a return, eventually tackled by Smith. And now it's that time where we put on some shoe clock, run the ball here, and we'll let CJ Donaldson try to close this game out. CJ You know, he had that one touchdown, but otherwise didn't really do anything in our week 1 win because he got injured early on. So we'll let CJ eat a little bit here. I mean, Jalen Henderson has 6 passing touchdowns in this game, and I feel like that's low key as we get a nice 3rd down conversion with CJ Donaldson, because we haven't really needed Jalen to do that. It's just he's just kind of doing it in the flow of the offense. So that's pretty good, as we are under pressure on 3rd down, and we're just going to eat the sack right here. There's 4 minutes to go. We did a really good job at chewing clock on that drive, and the last thing we're going to do is just force a pass and take a turnover. We'll just punt it, play special teams, make the Niners work the length of the field, and they won't even get a yard on the drive. Grant Delpit goes yard instead. The pick goes for 6. Grant Delpit off to a hot start this season, and our secondary in general, these boys are eating right now. Devon's got 3 picks, Grant's got 2 or 3, Rose got 2 and a pick 6, so, you know, everybody's kind of, you know, contributing, and that's what we like to see is Kobe Durant trying to keep up, but CJ Smith's one of the fastest receivers in the league, so you see him occasionally winning those one-on-ones, even against our 2 cornerbacks who have 99 speed. As outside, that is caught. At this point, it's pretty much garbage time. We have most of our backups in the game, just trying to get one stop to end the game, and that is it. This man, I mean, what was that, 4 user picks? Stop putting your hands in the cookie jar. You clearly are not getting away with it, and now the game is over. So we're going to get ourselves a 24-point win against a division rival. It's always good to start on the plus side on the division record, and of course now we are 2-0 on the season. 2 pretty good wins, it must be said. So yeah, I mean, it was a dogfight for a while right there. It was just, Shedeur missed a couple of passes in that 3rd quarter that the Niners really needed to keep up with us, because they had deep shots. Those were open passes, and, you know, you just hit one of those, then, you know, you get a touchdown, you keep it close. You never know what can happen in a close game, but those missed opportunities definitely cost San Francisco. So, I mean, look, man, Madden, they give it, then they take it. Sometimes you get the break, sometimes you get bent over backward. And, you know, maybe today we got a break or 2, we'll definitely take it, and we'll move on. And next game we'll probably get screwed over, but, you know, you just understand that, you know, the Madden gods, they give it, then they take it. At the end of the day, it all evens out. So, you know, you cheering the victories, you just be all right in the losses, and you move on to the next game regardless. So, yeah, we did not get that standout story with Ashton Gallant, unfortunately. It was going to be really hard. We need to get 3 tackles for loss and sacks and all that. So that was, I mean, it's hard. It was hard for prime Aaron Donald to do stuff like that in the game, all right? For a 3rd-year defensive end, Ashton Gallant, I mean, you know, he did all he could. But at the end of the day, I mean, this can't standout story got us +5 block shed on him and 10,000 XP that got us an overall increase. So it still paid off really well for us as we now focus on preparing for our week 3 game against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's time for week 3 against the defending AFC North champions, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are off to a good start this season. They, like our Los Angeles Rams, 2 wins, 0 losses to start the season. We're coming off some fantastic player of the week performances from our standout victory over the 49ers. Jalen Henderson with those 6 passing touchdowns, no surprise, he gets offensive player of the week. But Grant Delpit sneaking in there for defensive player of the week. That's nice to see. Also a pleasant surprise, Ashton Gallant is a superstar. Yes, we just failed the Cam standout storyline, but Ashton Gallant got a dev upgrade via practice. So we talked about it before with, I believe Rayshon Benny got one last season where you just get a dev sometimes just by doing practice drills, and Ashton Gallant got one. We're lucky, no good abilities, oh well. Here we go, we are underway at SoFi Stadium, and yeah, you know, the abilities are kind of useless unless you use your rush, but it's another superstar on that line, and sometimes I feel like just having that star under a player's name makes them play better in Madden for whatever reason. We're going against one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, Joe Burrow at quarterback. You know, they got Jamar Chase as a go-to, and they have the man who just took that jet sweep, Nick Harbor, who is a #1 overall pick from last year's NFL draft. And early on, he's getting involved in the action, quickly taking the Bengals to the 28-yard line. Burrow under duress. Couple of stars going at him, and we got 4 superstar rushers to send at the quarterback at all times. And you see Byron Young making the tackle, open field, bringing up a 3rd down. Burrow missed the mark, feeling the pressure, and Cincinnati will take a field goal on their opening drive, up and good. And with Ashton Gallant's emergence, along with Rayshon Benny, Gabe Hall, Brian Burns, You know, usually we're only putting 4 guys to rush the passer at a time, and that leaves an odd man out, which is Byron Young. But we're not going to take Byron Young off the field. We want to put all our best players on the field at any given time. So the solution to that is when we come out in those nickel sets with those 4 down linemen, we're going to put Byron Young at middle linebacker this year a lot. So you notice we did that already throughout the first 2 weeks. That was to get Ashton Gallant on the field so we can do that camp standout story. But it's been working out pretty well. Gallant's leading our team in sacks so far. Oh, speaking of sacks, Burrow is taken down by Williams. Bring up, a free play here. We got a shot. Anybody we like. And we'll take Julian Fleming every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So yeah, look at Byron Young, number 0. He'll be playing middle linebacker a lot on this team, and his coverage stats aren't great. He might be a bit raw at that position, and we might need to, move away, abandon that project if it doesn't work out. But I'm willing to give it a try early in the season, and, we'll take our medicine when we have to. As we miss an open pass to Terry McLaurin, and on 4th down, we could definitely go for it here. It's a debate for sure, 4th and 3 at the 35, but we'll take our field goal. I mean, Jalen just missed a pass, so I'm not really feeling too confident about throwing him back out there for another play, even though it was an open play to Terry McLaurin. We'll just match Cincinnati, take the field goal, and play some defense out here, which is gonna go pretty well after that super swat by Azariah Thomas as Joe Burrow, middle of the field, and that's nearly caught by Drake London, the former Dallas Cowboy and Atlanta Falcon. 3rd and long, Burrow is dumped. Ashton Gallant, the new superstar, making an impact. And on 4th down, I don't know what in the world, that had to be a mistake. I don't know why you would even want to hurry up at all in that situation, let alone hurry up into a spike formation. But yeah, that's going to cause Cincinnati to call a timeout as James Cook shimmying and shaking. James Cook bringing some positive energy to this team as the backup running back and returner as Fleming. Yeah, he's not exactly superhuman, so we're not going to expect him to make that grab. 3rd and long, outside, wide open. RJ Maryland back from his practice injury as our starting tight end. Once again, here's CJ Donaldson coming off of a good game against the Niners. Over 100 yards, rushing already 30 in this first quarter. This is an RPO caught by McLaurin, but there's a penalty, and this 1st down gain is most likely going to come back. Yes, it is. Gotta get that ball out quicker than that, I suppose, as Osiris Torrance is called for the illegal man downfield. We go backward. Donaldson not getting much. Next play, Jalen, CJ, good connection, and now we have ourselves a 3rd down and manageable to start the 2nd quarter. Jalen, drop back, 4-man rush, and that's not going to be caught. I believe that was Singleton trying to make that grab, and I mean, even if he made the catch, it would have not been for a 1st down, so not the greatest decision there. We'll take our field goal once again. It seems like it's going to be a slow-paced kind of game where, whoever makes that first mistake, whoever flinches first, might be a team that loses, and we don't want to be that team. We're all right playing in these kind of ball games, right? We are equipped to get into a defensive battle. We're equipped to put up points, whatever it may be. I'd like to get into that defensive battle, though. That's what I prefer because, it puts a little bit less pressure on us to do great things, but I mean, if Cincinnati's going to move the ball like this, we're going to have to find answers quickly on both the defensive and offensive side. I suppose one answer is injuring Mark Andrews, a superstar tight end signed by the Cincinnati Bengals in free agency, currently injured as Burrow. Whoa! Brian Burns in coverage, not where he's supposed to be, but he's making a play. 3rd down, Burrow, need a yard, and he got it, maybe 2. Moving the chains, going to Quinshon Judkins. He can hit a hole and be gone in a blink, so we got to keep an eye on number 4, not let him hit those gaps. Burrow's hitting the gap on 1st down. Burrow all the way for the touchdown. Okay, Joe Burrow. Interesting. I really was not putting down my bingo card of things that could happen today, but Joey B with the about 20-yard scramble. I thought we were going to bring him down. I believe it was Grant Delpit, but Burrow just turned on the afterburners on us and went for it all and got it. So Joe Burrow providing the first touchdown of the game in an unexpected manner, and now it's our turn to answer back. As CJ Donaldson takes the carry. Next play, Donaldson once again. Look, CJ Donaldson is the easy button for us, right? If we want easy yards, we want 6 to get it for us to open up the passing game for Jalen Henderson and the boys. Jalen had 6 passing touchdowns last week, but it was because CJ Donaldson was getting early rushing opportunities and easy rushing yards, and that opened up the easy passing lane. So that's the recipe for our team, the recipe for success. What we don't want to do is just be passing the ball too many times, because that leads to interceptions. We've seen that throughout the seasons that we've had with Jalen as he scrambles, chop down, and getting the first down. Both quarterbacks using their legs as unblocked man right there, and a good job by Jalen to not take the sack, because that was a bang decision as Donaldson taking a defender for a ride and is down in pain after the play. So he'll be out for this big third down. That's going to put James Cook on the field. Need 3 yards. We haven't been great on third down today. That's a conversion. That's the rookie Eric Singleton who got his first career touchdown last week. He sets up close to a goal to go. James Cook in for 6. As we await the diagnosis on CJ Donaldson, in the meantime, James Cook is doing a celly to give us back the lead. Oh, that's the good news. The bad news, CJ Donaldson, abdominal tear. He's out for the game, and he's out for the next couple of weeks. He will most likely be out until after our week 7 bye. So, I mean, we were hyping up James Cook, and now we got to depend on James Cook. He is the RB1 now. We need James Cook to do what he's been, showing flashes of. He needs to be an every down back for us now as Joe Burrow. No good decisions to be made except to throw it away. That's exactly what he does. Third down and short. Here's Burrow. Drop back, looking middle. Got it. Just beating Road Torrance on the play, on the slant. Minute 5 left in the half. Judkins stuck in the mud, and this might be a holding penalty. Judkins not able to change directions fast enough, and when you're running side to side like that, that makes you susceptible to those holding penalties. Have no fear, Clay Harbor is here. The penalty yards back, add 10 more on top of that. Move the chains. Burrow back at it, down low. He's dissecting the defense, and Harbor seems to be his favorite target. And you'll notice there is no Jamar Chase on the field, and for whatever reason, he might be hurt. As Burrow, gotta let it loose quick. The blitz was coming. Andrews back in the game. Takes another vicious blow down low. Inbounds. Final timeout by Cincinnati. Burrow on the run, and he's got a gun. He's got his number 1. It's Nick Harbor for the touchdown. Burrow escaping Goliath, and eyes in the back of his head as he threw it cross-body, a dime to put Cincinnati back on top. Here's Singleton trying to sneak in a return as we drop back with Jalen looking, holding, looking for the big play, underthrown, and still nearly caught by Julian Fleming. We tried to hit the home run, and it nearly materialized. They just need about a half second more of blocking, and we got blocking for a half second on that play as it's third down and 13 at our own 17. Really, you just don't want to make a mistake in this scenario, so I guess we'll take our first down here to Terry McLaurin, but essentially now we're in Hail Mary or bust range, and even then, you still want to be careful. We do have some very fast receivers, so we'll see if we could bust the coverage here. Jalen. Oh, got hit on the throw. That was going to be a double, maybe triple coverage. Hail Mary to Julian Fleming. Hope for the best right there. Just once again, they didn't really get the time. Doesn't really matter. It's a low percentage play, so it's not we're going to bang our head against the wall and be frustrated about that one. We are in a 4-point game right now. It's a 4-point deficit, but look, it's a close game. We're keeping ourselves in it. Cincinnati's playing well so far, and it just still feels like whoever's going to make that first mistake, and neither team has really made it so far. It's just been a well-played game, man. We're going to continue with that pace. James Cook, he's looking spry in his role as RB1, and as I say that, we jinx him. He loses a yard. Here's Cook back at it, up the gut, getting some positive gains this time around, but third down and 6, we're going to need QB1 to make a play at the Bengals 43, 4-man rush, drop back Jalen, pressure, dumped, devoured, 1, 2, 3, Cincinnati Bengals get home. And that time, I mean, we straight up called 4 verts. Nothing got open, and, when it takes a while... Oh, hold on a second. Somebody make a tackle on this guy, yeah. When it takes that long for a play to develop, 4-man rush, everybody's pinning their ears back, going at the quarterback. Someone's going to get home, so... that's unfortunate because if we got a decent play, we could have just gotten a field goal out of that drive at the very least. And, those are the kind of plays that can make a difference in the game. So it's going to be up to our defense now to stand up here on third down. Here's Burrow. He missed it. He wanted the running back Judkins. It would have been a tough pitch and catch, but, Burrow wasn't able to even give him a chance. So the defense does the job, as James Cook probably going to have to move him out of that special teams role now that he is RB1 undisputed. We have Antonio Gibson behind him if needed. Pressure on, and Jalen's down again. Cincinnati starting to tee off on number 1. 3rd and a bunch. Pressure. That is caught by Fleming, but nowhere close to moving the chains. It just seems like we're a bit of a beat off on our passing game. We need one more second to get the play off, maybe one more second sooner to make a read, and either the pocket's collapsing or we're just not getting that play off in time. One or both, it doesn't matter. We're not moving those chains, and we have to punt the ball once again. Burrow blasted. Both teams really starting to tee off on the opposing quarterback. 3rd and long. Burrow down low. Need to make a big play. Quinshawn Judkins, no chance, no dice. Devon Jackson shuts that attempt down, and it's punt fest right now. And once again, you know, punts don't mean the game is being played poorly right now. If anything, whoa! James Cook is trying to get on his high horse. It's like, yeah, both teams are playing smart at this point. That's what you got to do in these 10-minute quarter games. Sometimes you just got to live to jab and jab and jab. And, you know, hopefully you jab at the football and you make the catch. But right there, we're not. McLaurin actually dropped it. 3rd down. Back to Terry, if we can get it in bounds. And now it just feels like our offense is completely out of sync, and we might need one of those Devon Jackson superhuman kind of plays to save the day. It just feels like one of those kind of days where the offense might not really have it, right? That's a play that's open. That's a play that we hit usually, but I suppose not today, as we have to punt the ball once again. Here we go, 3rd down, need a yard. Burrow handles the bat, snap down low. It's Mark Andrews for the 1st down. And Bo Braid, I love Bo Braid, but I don't think there's anybody on our team that's really going to guard Andrews in that situation. Maybe besides Devon Jackson, open field, Judkins. The only thing that's going to stop him is the sidelines. The Bengals with the lead, looking to build on that late in the 3rd quarter. Big hit delivered by Byron Young. Next play, Marshawn Lloyd is in, untouched. Lloyd with a sneaky touchdown run, and I mean, what else can you say except untouched in that situation? Not really great defense by us, and just 2 explosive runs in a game where nobody was really moving the ball. Those were the easy plays that Cincinnati was looking for. Neither team is really getting those easy plays that we talked about all game long, like we talked about with CJ Donaldson, and that could be part of what is costing our Los Angeles Rams, is we're not getting those easy CJ Donaldson yards. So we'll see if Julian Fleming can provide the action and the round. A 1st down, as Brownlow Dinley, who got a sack earlier in the game, injured now, as James Cook up the gut looking for the block. Wynn doing a decent job as a lead blocker. That'll put us pretty much at midfield, early 4th quarter, trailing by 11. Jalen, quick fire and picked off. That's Sindor with the interception. Finally, someone cracked in this ball game, and unfortunately, it was our Los Angeles Rams, and that was an unforced error more than anything else right there. Trying to get a bigger play than we needed in that situation. Feeling the pressure of being down by 11. Now, Blake Corum springing into the action. The Bengals have a plethora of running backs, but here's their bell cow, Quinshawn Judkins. And we're getting ground and pounded all of a sudden. The Bengals wanted to pass the ball, complete an aerial assault, but it's the ground game getting the job done. 2nd down, Burrow with a rushing touchdown already today. Feeling brave, and that bravery nearly knocked him out cold. 3rd down, Burrow again, looking to pass, rolling the pocket, eyes downfield, and he gets chopped down. Joe Burrow playing with fire, but he gets the ball away for the incompletion. And very importantly for us, we hold Cincinnati to a field goal. It is still a 2-possession game with 6.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. There's plenty of time. We don't have to rush this next drive, but it's got to be a touchdown, and we're making the job a little bit more difficult, taking the sack, a loss of 9. Next play, Jalen wants it all for Fleming. Broken up in the early intercept, and lucky to not be intercepted on that play. 3rd down, very long, don't need all the yards here, but we'll get it from Jalen Hyatt. A beautiful route to move the chains. James Cook, good run. We can still run the ball in the situation. We don't have to go away from that. Cook has been providing 8 for 64 on the ground, and we'll dial up Cook again, but this time he's met immediately in the backfield as we once again go up tempo, staying in the spread, taking some time, changing the play. Jalen, 3rd down, once Fleming picked off. This time Miller converts on the interception. And that might have been our last gasp. Man, I thought Fleming would be able to get inside in that situation. You know, it looked like split safety coverage, post route. I thought that was the play. Maybe that pass should have been thrown a half a second later, but, you know, at the same time, the way the pass rush was getting at us, I don't know if we had a half second. Burrow's got a man wide open. Drake London can walk it in from here. 58 yards for what should be the dagger. Cincinnati in the battle of early undefeateds in 2027 is looking stout, looking on their way to get that third win in 3 tries this season. Meanwhile, for our Los Angeles Rams, it's pretty much back to the drawing board here. Whoa, Eric Singleton! Showing some potential on that kick return. That's what we saw in preseason from Eric, where that's why he's at that position. As we drop back, just, you know, at this point, the game is not really winnable. It's just you do what you can, and, you know, if you score a touchdown, then you go for an onside kick, and that's all you can really do, and then you focus from there. We have all of our timeouts still, and we actually save a little bit of time by having Miles Murphy get injured. It's a 21-point game right now. It just doesn't really feel like it's, you know, a game that we're losing by 21, maybe 14. Maybe we get this touchdown. You know, maybe it feels right to lose by 14 points, but it does feel like a game that we got outplayed in at the end of the day, as the onside kick is caught by Drake London, who is on a bit of a hot streak of catching footballs right now. So our last resort now is to call timeout, try to force a turnover, and force a 3-and-out at the very least. We're doing a good job on the 3-and-out part, but even if we do force the 3-and-out, Cincinnati can kick a field goal to try to dagger the game. So our real last gasp is to try to block this field goal. We actually save a timeout with Judkins getting injured, so both starting running backs injured today. Here we go! Field goal up and good. I mean, even if they missed the field goal, we have one timeout. We even need to score and get an onside kick, so, you know, it was still a very small percentage, but, you know, we're never going to give up in these kind of situations. Even down 17, we're still going to push it, but, you know, now that might have been our last realistic chance to get back into the game. At the same time, you know, we're going to take our first loss of the season, it looks like, but, you know, it's not the end-all, be-all. It's week 3 of the regular season. As I always say, I'm all right with taking some of these early season losses, right? The only way you learn is from L's. That's how you get your lessons, all right? And this is a good one for us because, yeah, you know, there was some stuff that I did not have control of, but there's also some stuff we did wrong, right? I feel like some of these passing plays, we're probably taking a little bit too long to get these plays off, right? Once Cincinnati showed that their pass rush was kind of dialed in today, we probably should have made an adjustment, get some quicker passes off, and maybe just really stick to the ground game, something like that. Defensively, I thought we played an all-right game. We kind of eased up on our run defense a little bit in that third quarter, and that made the difference, but we were asking a little bit too much of our defense with how many times our offense stalled out in this game. So 4th down and forever, stepping up a little bit too far ahead the line of scrimmage, so we had to run that one. Not able to run it 23 yards or whatever we needed, so Cincinnati's going to kneel out and get the dub. So yeah, those are the adjustments that I'd rather learn now and be able to make throughout the season than, you know, win 15 games in a row and then get shell-shocked in week 16. That's kind of what happened last season, to be completely honest, right? We had a really good regular season, but the last week or two of the regular season, you can feel the wheels kind of falling off the wagon. And in that regular season finale against the Giants, we won the game, but we needed some absolute heroics to win that game. That didn't feel necessary against a Giants team that had 4 or 5 wins, and then the next week, eventually, you know, we lost that close game against Tampa. So, you know, if we take a week 3 loss, that's all right with me, as long as it's not too bad. And, you know, it looks like a game that if we correct, we can win it, which I feel like, you know, we play this game again, we line them up again, anything can happen. But shout out to Cincinnati, man. End of the day, they played a really good game. Hats off to the coach. Good games to him. You know, like I said, CJ Donaldson, he'll be out until after our bye week. So James Cook and Antonio Gibson better be ready to step into action, including week 4 against the Lions. Well, I'm the one that's lying because we actually play Detroit in week 5. I jumped the gun. We got to play the 49ers one more time before we go to Motown. Now, this week, we get ready to go to Santa Clara. We're taking on a 49ers team that we have a pretty good winning history against, but you never want to underestimate an opponent. You never want to underestimate a division rival, and this is a San Francisco team that gave us troubles a couple of weeks ago. Remember, the Niners had the lead in the third quarter. Now, our Rams did dominate the final 15 minutes of that game, but we'll see if San Francisco was able to make some schematic adjustments or if we can carry that momentum into this week's battle in Santa Clara. As we check out the lineup, it's about the same that it was a couple of weeks ago. It's just different turf. It's not great turf here. It's going to limit our player movement. We'll see how that all shakes out. Here we go. We are underway. It's going to be our Los Angeles Rams starting with the ball first, and we'll have to adjust to life without CJ Donaldson. The rookie last year led the league in rushing touchdowns and rushing yards. Over 2,000 all-purpose yards for CJ Donaldson. Who can replace that load? We're hoping James Cook can be the guy, but on second down, he's not able to get much. Third down, we need Jalen to make a play. In trouble. Cross body dot. Oh, Kobe Bowman holds it in. The perfect pass from Jalen Henderson, who throws an erratic misfire on the very next play, as only Jalen Henderson can do. Good job by James Cook actually sneaking in 7 yards on that run. Next play, it's Cook with a chain mover on third down and more. He had eyes on the end zone, and Fred Warner just got the shoestring tackle. That time, Fred Warner with a pile driving tackle. Here's James Cook on second down. Another stab at it. Down goes Warner. In goes Cook. A statement drive for James Cook personally, and for our Los Angeles Rams as a team. Cook is ready to be the RB1, and our Rams, well, we're just ready to ball, and we'll see if the Niners can match our tempo. You'll notice no George Kittle on the field today. George Kittle injured, so the superstar tight end will not be the safety valve for Shedeur Sanders, the third-year quarterback going against all of our superstar rushers. And Byron Young at that middle linebacker position nearly got home. Here's third down. Here's Shedeur. Oh, wow! I don't know if that pass was brave or blind. It might have been both. Because, I mean, he threw it straight at Devon Jackson. Lucky to not get picked off. But then he set up the receiver for a classic hospital pass. Got bombarded by two awaiting Los Angeles Rams. It forces the drop. It forces the punt. Here's Jalen. One and all. Julian Fleming. Whoa! That had to be illegal. Hufanga headhunting, no penalty, no Fleming on third down. That's okay because RJ Maryland is here to clean up. But I don't know how they cleaned out Julian Fleming's clock without a penalty. Madden, come on, bro. This isn't 2004. That's a penalty in today's game. No first down there. James Cook gave it a good effort. We'll go up tempo on 3rd and inches. Keep the Niners in that 3-down lineman set. We just need any sort of push from the offensive line, which we get, and we get the first down. All we wanted to accomplish on the play. Now we keep on pushing. Now we put in Antonio Gibson, spelling James Cook for a play, and we'll need Gibson to be that RB2, which we know he's capable of, as a good pocket. Oh, wow. I don't know what that pass attempt was from Jalen, but we'll just move on to second down, and now 3rd down and 12 after we go backward. Cook, not as good of an in-between the tackle runners as CJ Donaldson. Of course, Donaldson's a bruiser. He can break those tackles inside. Cook, not so much, and not able to get that screen off on 3rd down. We're actually going to go for a 60-yard field goal attempt, and it's good! Chase McLaughlin from Curry range. And those are the kind of field goals where it feels like you're stealing points, because you're not really supposed to make a 60-yard field goal. There's a lot of field goals where you have to settle for and you kind of shake your head at the end of the drive. That one, you're fist pumping. Let's go, Chase. What a hit. Here we go. Second down, Shedeur. Oh, we had him. That was Christian Kirk, and that could have been a touchdown, but the pressure forces the incompletion. 3rd down, Shedeur. Getaway speed. The first down and more. Shedeur. Once again, a lot of bravery from San Francisco. He had the opportunity to slide and chose to get the extra yards instead. But nonetheless, we know what kind of athletic ability Shedeur has to escape the pocket. So, you know, we had a QB spy him at the end of our last matchup. We might have to go to that early on in this battle, as Gabe Hall does a good job keeping Abanaconda in check. Here's Shedeur. Next play. Oh, what a grab! Targeting Byron Young in coverage, and Byron got lost in the sauce as Abanaconda walking it in for 6 on the next play. And that's the kind of situations that we talked about where Byron Young is not always going to be good. You know, Felice Lucan used to be our middle linebacker 1. He's still on the roster, but, you know, in these nickel and dime sets, we're trying to put Byron on the field to thrive. Speaking of thriving, James is cooking. One play, 75 yards, and his second score of the day. James Cook is ready to take on all the responsibility he needs and then some. That's electric. So yeah, you know, if Byron continues to miss those kind of plays in coverage, then we'll put Foyce on the field, and you know, we might have to actually just find out how to shape our defensive line, make those kind of adjustments, because we actually just have too much talent at this point. We're like, you know, we're putting Foyce Luke on the bench. He's still, you know, even though he's up there in age, he's still capable of making plays. He's still about an 81 overall. This man, we talked about it. This man threw 4 user picks in the Week 2 matchup. He still hasn't learned his lesson about putting his hands in the cookie jar, especially with Devon Jackson. Fine by me. Middle of the field, open, got him, McLaurin! Oh, he went aerial, and he didn't get in. It was a free play. That was illegal contact by the defense. But man, Terry nearly paid the price as James Cook with a first half hat trick. Terry didn't get in. It's James Cook on the next play. Hey man, shout out Terry though. He put his body on the line. You love to see it, and still got us to the 1-yard line. And after I knew it was a penalty on the Niners, I was okay with taking that dive, because you could fumble in those situations, but I mean, we got our shot. The only thing that could happen was Terry got injured. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Kobe Durant keeping pace and breaking that pass up stride for stride downfield as Shador. Woo-hoo. Our coverage is sticky right now. That's Rotorans with the swat. 3rd down, Sanders playing with fire and getting burnt. Grant Delpit with the interception this time around. I mean, Shador was begging to get picked off. End around Fleming. 99 speed on display. Juking inside. And yeah, of course, Fred Warner kept up 20 yards downfield. As Osiris Torrance seems to be our offensive lineman of choice to get injured every week. Oh, we won it all. We won Terry. And we missed it. There was an easier play to Fleming. I got greedy. I definitely got greedy on that one. As Jalen, accuracy is not looking too fine right now on the run. 3rd down, just need a yard. And we'll go to McLaurin, who backpedals his way to a 1st down. Terry is giving great effort right now. James Cook, I mean, just tip your cap to him. He is, you know, definitely outpunching his weight right now. But at the same time, James Cook is like a 90 overall. It was really just a bargain free agent signing, a steal by our Rams. Oh, look at Cook for his 4th touchdown of the game. Missed it by a yard, but surely he gets another opportunity here. And denied. Door shuts once again. Cook at the up back position. Airborne, and he gets stuffed. Oh, the Niners are getting stingy. We're going to have to earn this last yard, or we'll burn them on the run commit. Fleming on the slant. The RPO for the touchdown. Right as we hit the 2-minute warning, a greatly executed 10-play drive by our Los Angeles Rams. We're up by 24. We're putting together a pretty good pace right now. We just want to finish the job off at this point, right? We don't want to keep the 49ers invested, so we'll just put Devon Jackson on the scene. Superman, tug on that cave and let him fly. Still going. Jackson with an electric return to the 21-yard line just outside the fringes of the red zone. Cook continues a stupendous outing. 153 yards in the first half. Looking for more. Looking for 5. He wants, or sorry, 4. He's looking for his 4th touchdown on the ground. Won't get it because Eric Singleton's going to get it on the bubble. It's all Rams all day in Santa Clara. Offense, defense, even special teams all clicking on all cylinders. Our Rams were always going to come out with a vengeance after taking the loss last week, and we are playing pissed off right now, and you love to see it because it's a controlled anger. It's not just rage. It's just, you know, finding passion. But here, we're going to find our way to give up an easy walk-in touchdown to, I believe that's Ja'Cory Brooks. And on top of that, there was a penalty on us regardless, but that was way too easy. You know, hold shot, cover 2. Delpit, I was hoping at least would just make the tackle, but Delpit looked like he was in quicksand right there. So, I don't know, Grant Delpit just took the play off or what. You know, I know this game looks like it's over, but it's never over until it's over. And the Niners do get the opening possession of the second half, so you don't really want to screw around. This Jalen is kind of screwing around right there. Did a good job breaking that tackle, though. 3rd down, won it all. Julian Fleming. Ha ha. Of course, he got overthrown. And Jalen Henderson's putting up a stinker right now, it must be said. A lot of these are just, you know, poor accuracy passes. We're just like, come on, buddy. we're putting on a silver platter for you to make a play, as that is broken up. Scary throw. Need a big play to get in the field goal range. Shador has got it. Here we go. Oh my goodness, he stepped out of bounds with a second to go in the half. There was a chance for a touchdown. Instead, the 49ers will take the field goal to make it a 19-point game to start the second half, but I thought he had a chance for the touchdown there. It looked like a repeat of the touchdown we just gave up. Similar defense and, similar spot for Grant Delpit. It looked like he was going to fall behind. Thankfully, the guy, chose to go out of bounds. It looked like as Kobe Durant will get the interception to start the second half. Once again, Durant, we're putting him on the island right now, and he is doing his thing. Kobe Durant, he's not balling in LA. We're in San Francisco, but Kobe just loves balling out regardless. Another third down and inches. I don't know why we keep finding ourselves in these situations. The game is always, where's Fred Warner? We're going where he's not. Here we go. Wide open. That is caught. Julian Fleming. Stretching it out. Marcus Williams making the tackle, but not before Fleming gets all the way to the 13-yard line. As, at this point, I'd love to just get one more touchdown, put shoe clock on, just get ourselves out of this game. And we'll see if we can get a conversion here on third down. Blitz picked up. Jalen floater out of the reach once again. And really, Jalen just needs to get out of this game for his own sake, because he is really struggling right now. And we have this QB1 check-in that I usually don't really care about. You always get these scenarios, and it's just like, if you get them, you get them. But if you don't, it's all right. We're really just focused on trying to win the game. I don't know if Jalen's getting them. I feel like he's not going to, because he's missing these passes. And if we don't get it because Jalen's missing passes, then, that's his fault, as we'll give up a Christian McCaffrey catch. I told you guys, C-Mac is still on this team. He's just not a superstar. He's not the Christian McCaffrey, the Madden 25 cover athlete Christian McCaffrey. He's kind of washed Christian McCaffrey. Shador pop, trying to let that fly in, intercepted. The pressure busting pipes, and we've seen that a number of times where maybe there's something open, but it's just not a clean pocket for Shador. Sanders, James Cook, the double juke, and gone. Whoa, he runs out of gas, 5 yards short. Oh, Cook, great effort, and a vulturing of a touchdown by Jalen Hyatt on the next play, throwing the bubble once again. The Niners weren't ready for it, and we take advantage, but James Cook is putting together a monster outing today, as we skip most of this Niners drive. It is a 31-point game, so as we're doing throughout this Season 5, these blowout situations, we're not trying to stick around for too much of it. Look, man. James Cook, we might need him to get a bit more rushing yards here to chew out some clock, and we'll see exactly where he ends up at the end of the day. He should be well over 200 yards as we dial up Cook on the screen pass away from Warner. Nice move. Couple of yards short of the first down, but that was a heck of an effort by James Cook, man. To even get away in that first situation, he feels really good to use, man. It's just like, CJ Donaldson would normally be a big loss, but the fact that we have James Cook backing him up, it definitely eases the pain. And, instead of really worrying about how many games we can win with CJ Donaldson, it just feels like, all right, we can play our same brand of offense with James Cook in there. It's just we're not going to get the same production in between the tackles. As second down, wide open up the seams. That's too easy. And Grant Delpit. Oh, Grant's struggling today playing some deep coverage, and can't even make the tackle. So here's a Bonaconda to finish the drive off and just paving the way. All the boys on San Francisco just mauling us. I believe we had some backups in the game at this point defensively, but we got to hold our horses here, because a score on the 2-point conversion makes it a 2-possession game. I'm surprised, a little surprised San Francisco's not going for the onside kick, but at the same time, you want to give yourself a chance if you don't get the onside, so I suppose I get it. So now you got to get that 3 and out if you're the Niners. For us, it's 4-minute offense time, and we'll see what James Cook can do. Give him the run, and not going to get much, and a little bit of pressure here on us on third down. This game is far from finished here as we just safely go to James Cook. Good blocking outside, but a wide receivers propels James Cook for the first down, and that's that first down that we needed just to ease the crowd a little bit, ease the home fans. We'll actually make the home fans terrorize when we're playing on the road, but our fans can feel a little bit better now. As we get the run, we get the 2-minute warning. San Francisco with the full dosage of timeouts. James Cook, open field. We give ourselves up there, and as we take the QB kneel with the former San Francisco 49er Brock Purdy, the Niners are going to respect our decision to call mercy on this game and not call any timeouts, but when we gave ourselves up with James Cook, I didn't really realize it, but we gave up a chance of getting James Cook a 300-yard rushing game. He's going to finish this one with 296 rushing yards. And if we didn't give ourselves up, he probably could have fell forward for 4 more at least. If not, maybe just got the touchdown. Now, the rushing record in this game or this league for a single game, I'm pretty sure someone went like well over 300. So I don't think James Cook could have gotten that, but I mean, a 300-yard game would have been nice for James, but at the same time, we're not here to play for stats. We are here to play for wins. We're here to, just execute. And that's what we did today. We got that done and then some. And shout out to Laramie Tunsil, a lot of pancakes, 4 blocks, and the big adjustment that we made going into this game that I held off on talking about was we actually moved Laramie Tunsil from left tackle to right guard, and we swung Isaiah Wynn from right guard to left tackle. Wynn was struggling a lot in pass coverage. Pass protection was not good from Isaiah Wynn. Tunsil at that guard position, he's got, secure blocker and all that stuff, and he has post up as his 4th ability slot, so post up will do a lot better at a guard position. So we moved Tunsil there for multiple reasons. We moved Wynn for a pretty obvious reason, and it seems to be, no pun intended, a win-win for us. Also a win, we get the dub against the Niners, and we get +4 to some of Jalen Henderson's accuracies. I should go for those QB1 check-ins more. That was huge. Jalen's looking a little bit better now as we get ready for week 5, this time for real against the Lions. It's time to take a trip to Motown for our first primetime game of the season. It's Sunday Night Football against the Detroit Lions on deck. Before, we got to give some praise to James Cook. Of course, he's the NFC Offensive Player of the Week after nearly hitting 300 rushing yards against the San Francisco 49ers. What does Cook have for an encore? I'm excited to find out because for the next 2 weeks, James Cook will be our starting running back. CJ Donaldson's still injured. But otherwise, not really many injury concerns. We do have our squad ready to go against the Lions, who also have a pretty talented squad, but they're a little banged up. Most notably, the Lions will be without 99 overall X-Factor running back Jahmyr Gibbs for tonight's game. Here we go! We are underway under the lights. It's Sunday Night Football as Eric Singleton Jr. gets us going on the kick return. Oh, and he breaks the tackle. Open field. Eric Singleton going for the homer. Touchdown! He just got in. The rookie coast to coast on the opening play of the game. Impressive, emphatic. He broke the tackle. He almost didn't make it, but he just had the juice, just had the will, the effort to claw his way in to get that last yard and give us a score on the kick return. The Lions won't try to answer with JoJo Earl. They'll just take their touchback and stay shell-shocked. Down 7-10 seconds into the ballgame as Nico down he goes. Second-year quarterback. He's a superstar. He's got a cannon of an arm as he showcases here, firing one to Dawson Knox up the seams right by the ears of the linebacker. Next play, Armstrong. Oh, he lost the foot race to, oh baby, Azariah Thomas with that 99 speed, and probably should have had an interception there. Having 99 speed Azariah Thomas and Kobe Durant really lets us play aggressive with those corners, right? I could leave them on the island and know they're not going to get beat over the top often unless it's someone else with elite speed, and even then, it's only sometimes. So Najee Harris is the starting running back today with no Gibbs. Oh! Alec Pierce suplexed and still scores! How did he make that catch? That was special! Alec Pierce! Man, we might have one heck of a game on deck today. I mean, if this is the appetizer, what's the main course? It was nearly a second return touchdown for Singleton. Instead, our Rams take the field on offense and leave the field on offense just like that. Weston with the interception. Obviously, that ball was not supposed to go anywhere near Jamarcus Weston, but we got hit on the throw and it just popped right into his arms as Najee Harris trying to get the Lions to take advantage of this red zone opportunity. Nico drop back, third down, and down he goes. Benny the Bull. He's had quite the hot start to this game. 2 sacks already. You love to see it as the field goal is up and good. The Lions capitalize on our early turnovers. So Let's see if we can calm this game down a little bit. I think there's a little bit too much excitement for Sunday Night Football. Eric Singleton, though, he wants another crack at it. The spin move. The rookie's feeling himself right now is James Cook. That is James Cook, who's supposed to be our starting running back, who got injured on special teams, and hopefully that's not concerning. And it is concerning. An upper arm fracture. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but now we're down our top 2 running backs. With a 3rd and 1, in comes Antonio Gibson in a starring role all of a sudden for our Los Angeles Rams. It's Throwback Thursday because this is what Antonio Gibbs did for us in Season 2, in Season 3. Now it's Season 5, and Gibbs is, what, 29 years old? He's really not built for this, but he might have some juice left in those legs. We gotta find out. We have no other option. He's really our only healthy running back on the roster, so it's gonna have to be exclusively Antonio Gibson, and we might have to rely on that passing attack a little bit more, rely on Terry McLaurin and Julian Fleming to get the job done. But Antonio Gibson, I mean, look, man, he's running pretty good. 2nd down, step up, looking, Jalen, 1st down, good pocket. That should take us to the end of the 1st quarter, maybe not, as we go up tempo. Let's see if we get this snap off. 3, 2, Henderson will get it off at the very last second to Gibson. Open space, he almost scored, down a yard short. And let's see if we can cap this drive off with Antonio. No, Jalen tried to call his own number and maybe lost half a yard on the play. Fleming with the sweep. It's Gibson with the ball. It's Gibson sky high for 6. Antonio Gibson. He still got something in the tank, and I'm glad because, like I said, he's our only healthy running back. The only other running back that we have on our roster, technically, is Mike Evans. Remember, we talked about Mike Evans being a running back, but really a pseudo fullback / tight end for us. You know, even a backup receiver, like a 6th string. He's not supposed to be a running back. We don't want Mike Evans running the ball. But I don't know what would happen if Antonio Gibson gets hurt. Then we have no other option. And that's my fault that James Cook got injured. I should have taken him off special team duty. But, you know, I just got lazy. Didn't get into the depth chart, but we'll get the interception. The BB gun has struck Nico and the Lions. It's Bo Braid with the interception as Gibson with a stiff arm. Still keeping his balance, and Antonio Gibson's playing his heart out right now, man. Just battling for every single yard he can as Singleton, the man who authored the opening kick return, gets a 1st down. Next play, Fleming, gone. And so is that football out of the reach of Julian Fleming. That's nothing new, I suppose. We set up the screen. This is for Antonio Gibson. Can he get the 1st down? He does with a nice shake inside. That puts our offense at a 24-yard line on 1st down. Great protection. Man open. On time, on target, Julian Fleming. And that's the touchdown that we should have gotten to Fleming. A couple of plays to go. Eventually, we redeem ourselves. Jalen gets a redemption throw, and he takes advantage of it. So, you know, now that we get a bit of a bigger picture of this game after the hot start by both teams, we're in a pretty good position here. It's just, you know, can the Lions keep up offensively? Because after that opening turnover that we had, we're moving the ball pretty well. Now that will help for sure. Illegal contact on Roe Torrance. That'll give the Lions a new set of downs to work with. Whoa! That man just threw an interception, putting his hands in the cookie jar, and he tried it again. That time he got away with it, but look, man, I wouldn't do it any more times than that. As Najee, great escape, breaking the tackle, and it's all for a gain of 3. Our run defense has been pretty standout to start the season, which is very promising considering Aaron Donald is not on the team anymore. Of course, he's retired. 3rd down, middle, open and overthrown. Oh, that's a bad misfire. That would have easily been a 1st down. Instead, on 4th down, the Lions on the field. They don't want the field goal. They want the 1st down, and they'll get it. Once again, we leave our corners on the island. We know they're not going to get beat deep. Oh, the ball's out! Whoa! Brian Burns, brutal hit! He destroyed Nico! Ball out and recovered by Galat! Holy cow! Brian Burns had bad intentions going after the quarterback. That ball went flying. We're past the 2-minute warning here. We'll try to work the clock and also work the field position. Try to take advantage, get a last-second touchdown. We run it with Antonio Gibson, of course. We're not in a hurry as Gibson, man. This is Throwback Thursday for real. Look at these runs that he's putting together. Man open. Who else? Gibson, end zone, touchdown! Antonio Gibson, the backup, has been put into a starring role, and he is shining bright. Hey man, we talked about the depth of this Rams team. I didn't think we had to test it with third stringers, but here we are doing it, and we're getting it done. And you know, Antonio Gibson, it's going to have to be this week and next week, because that upper arm fracture for James Cook, surely that's a multi-week injury. Who knows how long that is, but we're going to have to deal with this running back situation until after our week 7 bye. And we're probably going to have to sign a running back. Oh, wow! Grant Delpit! What a ball hawk! Delpit is off to a hot start this season, and dare I say, he's trying to race Devon Jackson for the interception lead on our team. Not an easy task, but he is willing to take it on. And if he makes plays like that, Devon might have some competition on his hands. That was an injury timeout charge to the Lions, I believe, so that'll be a third down upcoming with the clock stopped. Man open underneath McLaurin. Nice move! Great move! Double juke, and he gets out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Back to Terry, next play. He doesn't get out of bounds. We have a full plethora of timeouts, so we use the first one there. 16 seconds left. Jalen, quick throw in the flats. Gibson, out of bounds again. 12 seconds to go. 10 yards away. Setting up the screen. No, it's a run. It's Jalen. Oh, he lost the ball. He lost it in the scrum. It's recovered by Detroit. Deontay Banks with the recovery. And just a careless error by our Rams to close out the half. We had a chance to get free points, whether it was 3 or 7, and instead it's going to be 28-10, and hopefully that doesn't affect the outcome of this game in any way. You never want to leave points on the table, and you know, that was an aggressive play call for sure. So, you know, maybe we got what was coming to us. Maybe we shouldn't be running plays like that up 18 points. But hey, man, you never want to take your foot off the gas pedal, right? It's like, yeah, you're up 18, but it's like once you take that foot off, once you turn that switch off, you're scared you can never turn it back on once the other team gets some momentum. So, you know, that's why sometimes you just got to stick to your guns and try to make plays like that happen. I guess you got to be better about picking time and place in situations like that. Here we go, third down. Our pass rush is going crazy as that is broken up by Kobe Durant, who has been under duress all game long, and for the most part is holding up pretty well. Azariah Thomas is easily the lockdown corner on this team now. He's almost a 90, I believe he actually is a 90 overall, so teams are more willing to test Kobe Durant on the other side of the field, and you know, Kobe's about an 85 overall, though he is getting the job done, as Chris Jones in the back 9 of his career still able to make something shake. He gets the sack. Third down, Jalen. There's just nothing there. There's maybe a small window, but we're up 28-10. It's just like, I don't really want to force that pass. And we're down 18 points, and it's like, yeah, all right, you know, maybe we got to, you know, really make something happen. But we don't. We are the team with the lead. We are the team playing really good defense. Oh, but just when I say that, Dawson Knox somehow makes that grab. Man, Poise Luke on a pretty good coverage. Not good enough. Ro Torrance gets beat on the zig, and now we have a goal to go at the 3. Midway, third quarter, Nico firing, end zone, touchdown. Alec Pierce on the board for the second time today. Quick slant gets the job done. 2-point conversion to make it a 10-point game. Quick slants once again. Who's open? Anybody? Not there. Not anywhere. Byron Young with the swat. It'll stay a 12-point lead for our Los Angeles Rams. But once again, this goes back to the, you know, end of the first half where we didn't get our points and we turned it over, where it's like, you know, now there's a lot of pressure on our offense to at least work some clock, you know, at least get field goal range. It's still a 2-possession game. It could have been a 3-possession game if we score at the end of the half. And you know, we're with this backup running back situation. I don't know how much more Antonio Gibson can bring to us. Third down, we're looking to pass. Blitz picked up. Just got it off and caught by the reliable Terry McLaurin, who actually leads our team in receptions by a good margin. McLaurin in that slot role is kind of like Cooper Kupp last year. Even though Fleming was the bona fide number 1, you know, you just get a lot of catches the way we play in this slot if you're a reliable target, and Terry is just that. Third down and 5, who can answer the bell? Why not go back to Terry? He'll move the chains. He'll make a man miss. Oh, Terry, double juke. Oh, baby, that was special. Put that on top 10 plays of the week. Terry McLaurin goes crazy on Sunday Night Football and scores. I mean, a simple drag is supposed to just get the first down, get the job done. Terry, he wanted it all. He got it all. And now it's a 19-point lead. And oh, that's a pop fly. Intercepted. Devon Jackson It's an onslaught in Motown. 2 quick touchdowns. We're making all the big plays, and at the end of the day, that's really the difference. Besides, you know, a couple of bad turnovers, right? We had one on our first offensive play, the one before half. Otherwise, we're just making all the big plays right now. Daniil Hunter getting a sack. Shout out to Daniil Hunter for finding his way into the game. 3rd down and forever. Nico, that's going to be broken up by Devon Jackson, and I mean, we're letting this Lions team get a couple of completions, but otherwise, you know, eventually we'll make a play on the ball. And the fact that the Lions are just so one-dimensional right now is Singleton now on punt return duties due to the injury to James Cook. Still getting the job done there as well. But yeah, man, you know, the Lions just haven't been able to run the ball. They've been really one-dimensional, and that's playing to our advantage. So, you know, not having to face Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely a blessing for us, as we're just going to let Gibson clock the game out. He's our only real healthy running back, and he's really in the end zone again. This might feel like a fever dream for Antonio Gibson to end up in this starring role, but he is doing it all for us. And I mean, he's the MVP of the day because, you know, how is CJ Donaldson on the field? What? Okay, so CJ Donaldson, you know, he broke something, man. He's out until after the bye week. I don't know how he snuck in. That really tells you how banged up our running back room is, that CJ Donaldson just suited up for the QB kneel. But that will do it. We'll get the dub. A fun game against the Detroit Lions at the end of the day, man. It's, you know, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot more fun than the Lions. Surely we made all the big plays, and I mean, the tempo was set on the opening kick return about what we were willing to bring, and the Lions tried to match that tempo early. They got the 10-7 lead, and then we just went on a monster run after that. And I was just clicking on all cylinders, man. You know, besides, like I said, the turnover is like the only thing, but it feels minuscule compared to all the good things that we did. We, of course, have one injury before we wrap this one up, and it is to James Cook. We'll see how long that upper arm fracture knocks him out for, and it's actually not going to be that long. So we're also going to get James Cook after our bye week. So we got 1 week of Antonio Gibson, whatever free agent we sign, and we'll make it work against whoever we play next week. As it turns out, that team that we have next week is the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints are the defending Super Bowl champions of the league. Of course, our Los Angeles Rams held the Saints back from even making it to the Super Bowl in past seasons. We took out the Saints twice in the divisional round during our 3-year dynasty run over the NFC conference. But with our Rams out the way, the Saints were able to make it out the NFC and take down Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But there's a big asterisk on today's big matchup in the fact that the Saints user who won the Super Bowl is not in the league right now. He opted out of playing Season 5, so we have a different Saints user in for this season, and he's not doing as good, it seems. He's off to a bit of a rough start, a 2-3 start to this 2027 campaign, but this Saints roster is still one of the most talented in the entire league. Along with our Los Angeles Rams, this Saints roster from top to bottom is probably the second best roster in the league, a 93 overall. So we have 2 super teams doing battle in the NFC conference at SoFi Stadium today. We'll need Antonio Gibson to give another heroic performance. He's RB1 as we are underway. And of course, Eric Singleton's got to give this a crack on the opening kick return. Can Magic strike twice? Not even close. So here we go. We got Antonio Gibson in the lineup, and we signed Chris Brooks to be our backup running back for today's game. And we'll mainly rely on Antonio Gibson. If things go bad, you'll see Chris Brooks. Or it's a blowout, I suppose. As we drop back, Jalen first down, looking and taking off and getting a decent gain. One option you won't see on the field today is RJ Maryland. For the second time already this season, RJ Maryland got hurt in practice. So we will once again turn to Sam Laporta to be the starting tight end for today's game, with Cade Otton playing a supporting role. Julian Fleming with the 3rd down conversion. Oh, Terry McLaurin probably is regretting even trying to catch that football. Man, wide open. It's Fleming with a 2nd catch already on the day, and that is a drag route that quickly turns into a gain about 20, maybe 30, as Gibson not up to the best start. We can't expect Antonio Gibson to do what he did last week. He just has to do a decent performance, and that's good enough for us. He overachieved last week, let's call it that. Otton making the catch. That brings up 3rd down. Jalen looking, firing, and picked off. That is Caden Stearns with the interception. Yes, that Caden Stearns, who tries to make it a spectacular return, and man, he bait the snot out of us. I thought for sure that left seam was vacated, but he made one great move from the right hash all the way across the field and a dead sprint to get that interception. So I suppose we'll get Caden Stearns versus Devon Jackson today. That should be fun, even though, of course, this isn't Miami Dolphins Caden Stearns by any means, but we got Los Angeles Rams, Devon Jackson. That is not a touchdown. Somehow, Johnny Wilson did not make that catch. That was a perfect throw. Oh, and now running for his life, it's the superstar quarterback, Malik Murphy, who actually got a gain of 4 out of the play. Third down, good pocket, wide open. Robinson in for 6. That time, the Saints come through for Malik Murphy, and it's looking a little sketchy early on as our Rams turn it over, give up the touchdown. We'll see what we got. And, of course, the run game might not be there for us as Eric Singleton, it's not always going to happen, right? More often than not, we're going to get duds in the kick return game. But if you have that potential to take it out, I'll let you take attempt every single time at returning those kickoffs. And Singleton, I think he has that capability for us. I mean, showed it pretty well in that Lions game, and he'll return 2 kickoffs in that game. As Julian Fleming's off to a hot start. He's already got 3 catches in this game. I believe that's on the Saints. Yes, it is illegal contact, so we'll decline that. Take our first down gain to Gibson in the flats. Here's Gibson on the run, stretch outside, nearly getting the first down. We just need a yard, and we'll get it from Julian Fleming, who seems awfully busy today. This is his most productive game of the season, it feels like, and we're in week 6. But we have a good record, so I don't know what that really says. I guess it means we don't need Julian Fleming. But if he's there, we see what he can do. Screen on the left side or the right side. We will turn away and run it with Jalen Henderson. That play, it's starting to scare me a little bit. Oh, look at that pancake and the touchdown. Osiris Torrance was the one mauling bodies in the middle of the field, and Gibson finished the job with a nice truck stick into the end zone. Final play of the first quarter, it's Chase McClellan, who seems to be the star running back for the New Orleans Saints. He's the lead bell cow until he gets injured. I try to hype the guy up, and now we'll find out who the backup is on third down. He'll get the carry. Can he get the first down? Johnson turned back. Rayshon Benny with penetration, and on fourth down in their own territory, the Saints won't risk it. They will punt the ball away. We came out on a punt safe. We weren't trying to play any games as Fleming once again on the bubble. Give this man space. He will create. Jalen Henderson off to a great start to this game. 8 for 9 passing. Gibson starting to get his sea legs under him. The more totes he gets underneath. This is Singleton with the catch. And everyone's eating right now as Gibson. Decent run right there. Get 4 or 5 yards. We're not really expecting anything more than that. Screen pass. Bowman trying to squeeze through a tight window to get that first down. Get a gain of 3 or 4. Make the third down easy for us. That's an easy pitch and catch. That's Julian Fleming flying in for 6. Hey, man, I don't know what that dude was trying to do with that safety on the left side, but you better get to Julian Fleming immediately, because we will throw that ball. We may not complete it. We will throw it. That is intercepted by Brian Burns, of all people. Okay. I mean, Brian Burns is a star pass rusher. That's easily the first interception he's gotten since joining our Los Angeles Rams. Good play as Singleton. He nearly hit the stop and go on him. The RPO game is working really well for us. The running game is getting better as this game moves on. Gibson now 10 for 61. He'll try another toe. What a move. He's in again. Antonio Gibson. He shook Brees. Oh, man, the defensive tackle got immediate penetration. It looked like that play was dead in the waters, but, that was just good vision, I suppose. Just seeing that guy right away and just trying to do something to avoid him, and we did enough. Defensive tackle ended up over-pursuing on the play, and we are up 21-7. We're on a 21-0 run after the bad start to the game, and, once again, our offense is playing pretty well, matched with a defense that can force turnovers like this, and we seem to be getting into a lot of these kind of ball games. Now, it has to be said that, the start of our schedule has not been the toughest by any means, so we're looking really good, but the second half slate of our schedule is going to be a lot tougher. That's going to put us under a lot of tests, but as far as this first half, right, we played the 49ers twice, we played the Lions last week. They were a playoff team. but they're, I suppose, a little bit injured, and we're just kind of having our way with whoever we play, including these Saints, as Antonio Gibson has his 3rd touchdown of the game in the first half. And that time, he just simply went untouched. And it has to be said, the performance of our offensive line has been a lot better since week 3 against the Cincinnati Bengals. And it feels like moving, or really swapping, Laramie Tunsil and Isaiah Wynn on that offensive line, as the ball is out and picked up by, that's Gabe Hall down low. Couldn't tell you who forced the fumble because there's a number of guys in that scrum. Jalen, ooh, gotta fit that in there, and he does. Samuel Porter, sure hands on the catch. Can Gibson get his 4th touchdown of the game? We'll give it a go with under a minute in this first half. Working that clock a little bit. Drop back, Jalen. Oh, that's picked off. That was a bit of a blind throw, and thankfully Kevin Dotson makes that tackle, or else that could have been worse. So yeah, you know, the offensive line, gotta say, it's been working better since we made that move. You know, Tunsil with that post up, we're not getting a lot of inside penetration, and Wynn's doing a good job outside compared to just getting shedded one-on-one at that right guard position. You know, the blind side seems to be doing pretty well for us, as Malik Murphy is picked off. Roe Torrens, he got it, and he's got places to go. Row your boat gently into the end zone. We have the turnover, but it's just for a bigger prize. Yeah, we turned it over in the red zone, but we'll get the 7 points from Roe Torrens. It's all right. We'll score 35 points for the end of the half, and this game, it's not looking good for the New Orleans Saints. Let's put that kindly, as the first half ends mercifully. After the Saints had the stop in the score, it's been Rams all day. So now the second half of this game, it's going to be a lot like the way our season's gone, where we're up big and, you know, we just got to manage it. In these kind of games, you want to manage, you know, chewing clock, and you want to manage, of course, the health of your players. You don't want to put guys out there in situations up 30 points, or whatever it may be, to get injured in a blowout. So we'll try to do all of that. As Eric Singleton, he jumps inside. Oh, man. Eric Singleton, he's got a flair for the big play, as Gibson, great blocking and a stiff arm to boot. And even with all the running back injuries that we have suffered, I would say this is definitely a strain to our offensive line, and credit to them. Our Rams have the #1 rushing attack in the league, and Jalen Henderson trying to add to it. Careful, buddy, careful. We talked about injuries, and I mean, that's a guy that we really want to protect, Jalen Henderson. Not that he's really having a great season or anything like that, but we don't want the guy to get injured in a 30-point game, so, you know, I've really been trying that play out a lot in the red zone, that screen with the pulling guard, and, you know, I'm not really trying to throw that screen. I'm just trying to run it with Jalen. Might have to try out other plays because it's starting to not work, and it's starting to, you know, create a lot of disastrous situations. Speaking of disaster, Malik Murphy is having an absolute disaster class. He only has 4 completions in this game as we wind down the third quarter, and, you know, I don't know how many he has since that opening drive. Is Eric Singleton trying to find an opening in the defense. Jalen away from Mondon, away from all of them. Jalen, oh, last line of defense, forcing him out of bounds. Maybe we had a chance to score a touchdown there, but I finally decided to smarten up a little bit. Just get Jalen out of bounds, right? We don't need to score that touchdown. We don't need to make top 10 plays up 30 points. We just gotta, you know, get out of bounds, keep our team healthy, let Antonio Gibson tote this ball a little bit, and then we can get to the bye week with all of our guys coming back pretty much. That will be good enough for us, right? So, you know, we'll get CJ, we'll get James Cook after the bye week. I'm assuming we'll get RJ Maryland, but, you know, he seems to go too hard in practice every week, as Murphy's got him on the crosser. Robinson, who scored the touchdown earlier in the game, the only touchdown for New Orleans, trying to score his second. Oh, that's not going to help. Ashton Gallot is going to make Malik Murphy field that one for the next couple of plays. Second down, Murphy popped. Oh, the poor Malik Murphy. He never really stood a chance on that play. He's intercepted, trying to go to Robinson. It's Roe Torrens' second pick of the game, and here's Chris Brooks. We talked about Chris Brooks. He would only be in the game if something went bad as far as injuries, or it was a blowout. And as we see here, it is clearly a blowout. And, you know, per the league's blowout rules, we have to sub out our starter and put the backup in once we're up a bunch of points. And I'm pretty sure that applies even if we have our third stringer starting the game. It's just whoever starts the game, I suppose. So, I mean, there's no point in trying to even test those rules, right? I don't care if Antonio Gibson gets extra yards or not. The man's going to go to RB3 after we take this knee right here. So, you know, we'll put Chris Brooks in. We'll make sure we don't get in trouble. And we'll make sure we secure our 5th win of this season going into our bye. So, yeah, good vibes against the New Orleans Saints. Dominant victory. 48 straight points for our Los Angeles Rams. And the Saints only crossed midfield once after their opening drive, it felt like. So, the defense was turned up another level. Pass rush, secondary, all of them just clicking on all cylinders. Antonio Gibson with 168 rushing yards. It really doesn't matter who we put back there, I suppose, but it'll be nice to have CJ Donaldson back, the guy who nearly got 2,000 yards rushing. Anybody can do it, but we know CJ, he can do something special when he's back there, so it'll be good to have CJ Donaldson back after that bye, but until then, we'll look at some stats before we wrap this one up. And I suppose the only one downside of blowing teams out, you don't get the full stats for your team offensively, right? Guys are not going to have big offensive numbers because we're not really playing offense in the second half. I'd rather win games, though, than get stats. So I'm pretty cool with that result at the end of the day. Our backup left guard got injured for a couple of weeks. That's all right. The rest of the guys that we need to come back will be back after the bye. So, yeah, we'll be back after the bye against the Ravens. Fresh out of the bye week, we are ready to take on the Baltimore Ravens. It's week 8 in the year 2027 here in the Premier Madden League. This will be the final game that we showcase in this nearly 2-hour-long video going through the 2027 campaign. Next time, we'll probably run through about 6 or 7 more games, but for now we focus on the Baltimore Ravens. We travel to M&T Bank Stadium, and it's been quite a fall from grace for the Baltimore Ravens. They went from having one of the best rosters in the entire league to one of the worst and one of the worst records in the league entering today's game. We'll see what kind of fight they can bring nonetheless as we are underway. Travis Hunter, all-around superstar. He's ready to field the kickoff. Maybe not. He takes it for a touchback as Donovan Edwards. He's the bell cow back of the Baltimore Ravens. He'll be the one trying to mix things up with, of course, Lamar Jackson, who tried to squeeze one in there. That was pretty good bracket coverage. Third down. RPO, late throw, caught by Brown, just short of the first down. Penalty on the play, and that's because Lamar held the ball too long. We're actually going to accept that penalty because I'm pretty sure the Ravens will go for that 4th down if we decline it. So here we go, 3rd and long. Pressure on. Lamar picked off. That was hand delivered to Byron Young, who just had to sit, wait, and create an instant near red zone opportunity for our Rams. And of course, we welcome back CJ Donaldson from injury as Jalen just got it off to Scary Terry with the spin move. Penalty once again on the Ravens. We'll decline that one as we got a 1st down gain with McLaurin. Here's CJ trying to burrow his way into the end zone in his return. Gotta make a man miss, and he does. Welcome back, CJ Donaldson, making quick work of a short drive and looking pretty good early on. And you know, we always talk about with teams like this, with records like this, you want to demoralize them as early as possible. You don't want to keep them invested. Lamar, though, he can do special things, and he nearly made something out of nothing there. Still fortunate to not get sacked by Rayshon Benny, as that will be some positive yardage at the price of the health of Donovan Edwards, injured on the play. That stops the action with 3rd down. Jackson underneath. That is double bam bam sandwich, and still somehow caught as Brian Burns getting the sack. Once again, the Ravens trying to do a lot of RPO game, which is, you know, of course not that surprising. You got Lamar Jackson, so they're trying to do some read option, bubble, all that stuff. Design run on 3rd down for Jackson does not work at all. Ashton Gallot snipped that one out from the word go, and we're going to force a Baltimore punt here. And here's James Cook. Whoa! Special stuff on special teams. James is cooking. Man, oh man, he had everything done except getting by the punter. Look at the pancake. Look at the great run and the fumble afterwards. Oh man, everything was looking beautiful until that fumble. But the Baltimore Ravens also are going to pay the price as they lose Kyle Hamilton, and Kyle Hamilton, all-world safety, can do just about everything. You don't want to lose him because that's a unique chess piece of your defense that quite simply is not replaceable as Jackson lost the ball, kicked around and picked up Bo Braid on the recovery. It was Devon Jackson that knocked it out. And Lamar is taking a beating in this game with all these design runs and options and just natural sacks and QB hits that we're getting on him. And you know, eventually you're going to lose that ball with CJ outside, untouched. First down and nearly a touchdown. Donaldson looks like he might have one of those big games as we go to him. Wow, that's as easy as it gets. A walk-in touchdown that a Pee-wee player might have been able to score right there. That is all the credit to the offensive line. You saw Tunsil burying the man. He was blocking 6 feet deep into the end zone. Even the rookie Eric Singleton was getting his hands messy, dirty, and we love to see it. So Baltimore, they're on the back foot right now, and once again, injury concerns. This time, it's Brian Burns. The Ravens just lost Kyle Hamilton. We're not trying to trade with them. We don't want to trade Brian Burns. We want to keep him on the field. Oh, Lamar's off the field once again. Another turnover. This time, Foyce Lucan as our linebacking core. Getting some nice ball hawking picks out here, though. I gotta say, it's just not really good offensive execution by the Baltimore Ravens today. McLaurin gone! Scary Terry strikes in Baltimore. The juke move set him free. It's all Rams all day right now. This is pure domination. And unfortunately, we can have that jubilation, that joy of the touchdown, but it comes, of course, with some good news, some bad news. We just lost Brian Burns to a multi-week injury, dislocated hip, I think it was, dislocated something, but that's probably gonna be like a 4-week injury, which is unfortunate. But I mean, we have a number of guys we can put in that spot. We have Danielle Hunter, who is more than capable. He's a starting caliber defensive end that we just kind of shelf on our bench because we have a plethora of depth. Oh, balls out! What are you doing, kid? He tried to journal. He tried to make top 10. That's not top 10 plays. Oh, what a fail. And another fumble by the Ravens. It's turnover city for their offense as Jalen Henderson on his high horse. Whoa! Squeezing through the tightest of crevices, untouched for a gain of about 14 yards. Here's Jalen stepping. He'll run it again. Oh, and he's getting smacked around silly. Jalen, come on, buddy. This is a game that is going very well for us. Oh, wow. Be careful. Jalen, he's brave. That's the one thing you got to give him. He is brave as Donaldson up the gut. He's already been racking up the touchdowns. He's got 2 on the day. Can he make it 3? He sure can. But once again, the injury bug. This is the one thing we don't want to see. We are well in control of this game. I don't want to say we're on cruise control because you never want to disrespect an opponent like that. We are early in the second quarter. There's still almost 30 minutes of Madden action to go. But, I mean, the last thing we want to do is lose guys. Mainly a multi-week injury. But a bruised sternum, I'm all right with that. That is just a game-ending injury. And you know what? RJ Maryland's already missed 2 games this season. We are pretty comfortable putting Sam Laporta at tight end 1, to be quite frank, because right now the Ravens, they are just, I mean, they're confused. They're dazed on offense. They just don't know what to do to move the ball forward. And, I mean, this RPO game is bubblegum. It's just not going to work. I mean, our defense is just too good for what is essentially looks like a high school offense right now that the Ravens are trying to run, which, I mean, fine by me, but not working out too well for them. Clearly, they're down 28-0 with, I mean, at least they didn't turn it over that drive. So, you know, clap your hands. Give them, you know, positive grade on the day. They didn't get an F for the drive as Jalen. Pocket is good. We'll take off. We'll get that first down. The Ravens don't have any premier pass rushers, and I mean, that's playing into the strength of our offensive line. They're just kind of sitting and pancaking dudes all around. And even when you get the penetration, we're just able to get out of there with Jalen. And I mean, the Ravens are playing some decent coverage right now. It's just, you know, we're up 28-0, so we don't want to do anything silly. I'll hold the ball. We'll scramble with Jalen if we have to. Just try not to take any of those weird hits as Jalen. Yeah, okay. Let's just take one of those weird hits. Let's just lose the football, and let's just give Rep a touchdown, a scoop and score, coast to coast for Roquan Smith to put Baltimore on the board. That's just silly. That's just straight up silly. I mean, look, we are up 28-0, so maybe we can afford one of those, but I think we just used up our mulligan, right? We don't want to do that again. You know, Jalen just takes the hit, and I tried to throw the RPO way too late, just trying to run a play we don't normally run, which I've talked about before, right? And, you know, when you're up big, it does give you a chance to maybe try out some plays. But, you know, you don't want to get too cute with it, right? Because when you don't execute correctly, it can go really badly. If you're running plays you don't normally know, which means you don't know the timing of, that's really what happened there. It's just, you know, I was taking too long to make my read key decision, and, you know, you got to get that ball out quicker, as Julian Fleming is as quick as they come. 72 yards in the blink of an eye. Single coverage. That just means you want to give up a touchdown to Julian Fleming, and we will take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Singleton and Fleming really rubbing it in on this Baltimore crowd. For whatever life they thought they might have had after the Roquan scoop and score, we kind of sucked the gravity out of the stadium, as Lamar Jackson with a nice play here on third down. Finally, some positive signs for this Ravens offense. That was about half of Lamar's passing yards on that play alone. You got another third down conversion in you. Oh, that was a good throw. That was a good read. That was just better coverage by Kobe Durant, who worked his way from the back of the offensive player to get the swat. You love to see it. And we talked about it before, right? Azariah Thomas is the #1 corner on this team, and people don't want to test Azariah Thomas. He's not a superstar, but, you know, he's 90 overall, 99 speed, so no one really wants to go there. So Kobe Durant's your option. It's just Kobe's pretty good too, and we have a pretty good unit in general as we're scanning. Minute 33 left in the first half. Downfield shot is broken up by Travis Hunter. I don't know why the camera got weird right there, but nonetheless, second down. You know, we're just gonna put on true clock, and if we don't get this third down conversion, then punt the ball away, but we'll give it a go. We have the time. We're going downfield. This is for Singleton. It looked like it was really for Travis Hunter, to be honest, because that was nearly hand delivered to the superstar out of Colorado. So there's definitely people open. We had both of those crossing routes open. I kind of locked in on Singleton as the ball is out. Lamar is smacked 6 ways to Sunday. I couldn't tell you who got credit for that sack, because there were 2 or 3 of our guys that just got in there and bombarded poor Lamar Jackson, who really doesn't stand a chance today, as we're going to go up tempo here, hold on to our timeouts, stay in this one wide receiver set, going to Donaldson. He somehow sneaks in for his 4th touchdown of the half. Not just the game, the half. This has been a brutal beatdown, and I mean, Baltimore fans are probably not even going to stick around to see the halftime show, whatever they got going on. You just got to beat the traffic at this point, because, I mean, whoo-wee, this is getting bad. Or it got bad in the first quarter. Now it's just getting, I mean, embarrassing. But, you know, this is all good for us, of course, as this should take us to the end of the half. Yeah, final play, and we're up 33 points at this point. We're probably just going to sub in backups for the second half, clock this one out, and reflect a little bit on the fact that, you know, we're going to be 6-1 after this game. Of course, we already had our bye week, and 6-1 is a really good start. I talked about in the, whoa, hold on, Eric Singleton opening kick return to the second half. He's put it in high gear. Can he go all the way? Forced out of bounds by the backup running back, Reese. That's a good special teams play by Baltimore to save the touchdown, but also, I mean, Eric Singleton, do your thing, buddy. Straight line and go, as, hey, man, we'll give the starters one more quick drive, I suppose. Here we go. Quick work done. C.J. Donaldson, 5, count them, 5 touchdowns on the day. And I think that should be day done for C.J. Donaldson. Oh, ball's out again. That was the 3rd fumble of the game for the Baltimore Ravens. Ball security has been an issue. And Lamar Jackson just tried to throw a pick right there. You know, couldn't. So, yeah, we're going to put the backups in. It would be cool to get CJ a touchdown. But, 1, we want to prioritize health. And 2, we actually can't, per the rules. We actually have to put in backups at this point. We're blowing out the Ravens too much, so it's all good. Not really something we were trying to do anyways. Well, let Antonio Gibson finish the game off, right? Antonio Gibson was so good for us the past couple of weeks, and he's still good for us in any situation we put him in. Oh, down goes Hunter, in goes Gibson on the option play. Antonio Gibson always seems to be a good option, as, you know, we're just trying to chew clock, but, you know, while we're chewing clock and run the ball, hey, we'll score a touchdown or 2. We just so happen to get it. But at this point, I think the Ravens guy's also trying to chew clock, maybe trying to injure his players, maybe losing his mind. I have no idea what that was all about, but we will take it. Another fumble, another recovery, and another touchdown for Antonio Gibson. Hey, juking 3 for the price of 1. The funny thing is, the battle for the leading rusher on our team is very interesting, as Bo Brady's going to get an interception, and we're just going to skip to the end of this one because we're pretty much done. But yeah, the battle for the leading rusher on our team right now is interesting, right? Because Antonio Gibson actually enters today as the leading rusher. Second is James Cook, mainly based on that 49ers game where he had damn near 300 yards, but still James Cook is second. And then CJ Donaldson, who came into today with only 1 touchdown on the ground all season long. Well, you just got half a season's worth in this game, so that'll make up for lost time, I suppose. But yeah, man, I mean, our running game has been phenomenal this season, it must be said. And especially once we made the offensive line of adjustments after the Bengals game, you know, I think that's really been it. Our offensive line has been great, and no matter who we put in at running back, they're cooking. No matter what quarter, even garbage time, when you know we're trying to chew the clock, we're cooking. So yeah, a lot of forced fumbles in this one. That's going to do it for this game, and that's going to do it for this video. Unfortunately, we are going to lose Brian Burns for a couple of weeks, but, you know, I guess it could be worse. We've had a lot worse injury situations. So, next 4 games, no Brian Burns, but that'll do it for this video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this elongated video, because this is something I want to do for next year. This isn't really about this year. This is something I want to do for next year's CFM series. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you, as always, for watching.